What's going on, everyone? It's Steven, like a gamer, back with another game discussion from a fantastic game I just finished up. One that, if you blink, you might have missed it because it came out this month, early in the month, mid-month. I'm not sure the exact release date, but yeah, not a lot of advertising for it whatsoever. Heard about it a while back and hadn't heard anything since I actually saw it in the store on display, and that is Anarchy Reigns by Platinum Games. Just came out, $29.99 release price. I know right off the bat you're probably thinking cheap price, probably a cheapo game, and it ain't worth even taking a look at. No, that's by far from the case. This is a fantastic gem of a game, and they're actually selling like hotcakes, they said, over at the GameStop, but the only problem was they only got about 10 copies of these in the day it came out. And luckily, I was able to get a copy. This was the last one they had the day I went to get it. So, not sure if it's going to be hard to find, or if they're going to restock, or it's going to be a limited release type of thing, but if you can grab one, I would grab this game because it is fantastic at the price point. You get a lot of bang for your buck. And if you actually were lucky enough and one of the people who got it on day one, you'll see on here on your copy, it's like a day one edition. That came with the download code to get a Bayonetta as a playable character in this game. And I'll get into that more when I talk about the multiplayer aspect of this. But yeah, what a fantastic, fantastic, possibly hidden gem coming out this year, since maybe not a lot of people knew what was going on with it. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this. Easiest way to explain it is, I don't have Mad World for the Wii, and from what I've heard or seen, one of the main characters, Jack, is actually in Mad World. And I don't know if this takes place in the same universe or not, but if it does, I definitely have to get it. I was actually looking up Mad World today so I could go out and get it, but it's snowing down outside right now, so I cannot go anywhere to go get any games. But yeah, basically the concept of this story is there's this rogue like bureau agent. This is all like future world type stuff, but there's this rogue agent who used to be like a leader of a little group of I mean solar bureau officers themselves, and he kind of went rogue. And the whole thing with this game is one of the main characters, Jack. He's trying to find Max. That's the guy's name with the bureau who's going rogue. He's trying to find him and bring him back to his daughter, Jean, I believe is her name, or Jenny. And that's pretty much how it goes. He's a bounty hunter and just trying to find him. The other half is this other main character, Leo. He's actually trying to find Max himself to bring him back to go on trial in a court case. Now, a lot of stuff happens to where some pre-story stuff where Jack has some other motives to want to find Max because Max actually was responsible for his daughter's death. And this is not spoiler stuff. This is stuff you find out pretty much right at the beginning of the game. And Leo's just, again, he's trying to find him to bring him back to go on trial for a court case. But on the way, the game's set up to where you're following in this futuristic type world where everyone's pretty much made of cybernetic parts. Like Jack, he's got a chainsaw built into his hand, and like radar and stuff built into his eyes and everything, sensors and indicators. It's like everyone's cybernetic somewhat. And the bureau officers like Leo, they pretty much have the best type of technologies to use, to be able to catch the bad guys and stuff. So it's pretty much you following these two storylines because it's broken up into Jack's storyline. Well, you'll do a couple stages, then you'll play through some stages with Leo, and I'll get more into that into the gameplay aspect. But you pretty much play as those two main characters throughout the story, with other options along the way to play as other characters that you kind of meet and find throughout the game. But yeah, that's just the gist of the story, just trying to get hold of Max, bring him to justice. Of course, more unfolds throughout the game as you're playing, but that's spoiler stuff that I'm not going to get into. Anyway, let's get to the real aspect of this game, and that is the gameplay. It is just straight up brutal beat 'em up style gameplay. If you're familiar with Mad World at all, I watched a couple video clips. It looked just as brutal as that, but pretty much it's like a beat 'em up mixed with Street Fighter, mixed with Super Smash Brothers. It's just calamity out there. And the game is set up by, like I said, you have a story mode with Jack and Leo. It's called the black side and the white side. You can either or pick which one you want to play first. Depending on which scenario you play first will depend on the ending battle you get, I believe, though. But how it starts is if I played as the black side first with Jack. Once I finish that, it put me on the white side with Leo. Then it put me back to Jack to finish off the game. Now, if you start with the black side, it probably goes the other way around, or the white side, it probably goes the other way around. White side Leo, into Jack, then back to Leo for the final boss battle type scenario. But like I said, I started with Jack, and it's just you. It's weird how they set up these stages. It's like I said, it's a beat 'em up, and you know most arcade style beat 'em ups, it's all about getting your points, and that's how you unlock the next levels in this game. Each scenario is broken into 4 stages, and each stage has its own missions within the game, within the stage. So, for example, stage 1, once you kill enough enemies that are roaming around in this open, free world that you're in inside the stage, it'll unlock a mission. Once you do the mission and earn up enough points again, you'll unlock the next mission. And that's kind of how it works. It could get a little irritating for some people, but if you're if one, normally once you beat a mission, generally you unlock the next mission afterwards. It's not like you have to sit there and grind out points by beating up random bad guys. And another thing that helps is your rankings within the missions. You get bronze, silver, gold, and platinum ratings during the missions. You know, depending on how many times you die during the mission or the combos and stuff you work up. And I would say aim for trying to get platinum or golds, because if you get platinum, you'll get a huge point bonus that'll generally unlock the next stage for you. And that's how it's set up. You're in one huge map, you unlock a mission, you play the mission, and that'll put a mission based around that map you're in, and then eventually you'll unlock a story mission to unlock some more stuff. And generally there's 3 story missions and 3, they're called free missions in one stage, so you can build up your points. You don't need to finish the free missions to continue the story, but they do help in generating points toward that point accumulation to unlocking the story missions. I know that sounded really confusing, but once you get in there, it's easy to figure out, and it's just really simple. And it's not a huge bother anyway, because it's all about the gameplay in it with the beat 'em up style action. And once you get into that, oh my goodness, it's so amazing. Basically, it's pretty simple how it's set up. You'll have waves of just guys just coming after you, but you only have pretty much a light attack, a heavy attack. You have a throw button, then you have a couple special moves. And you also have rampage mode where you click the sticks down and you just go all out crazy on people. But you can mix up different combos and stuff where you're actually juggling people in the air to hold combos, finish them off. And it's just fantastic, fantastic beat 'em up stuff. And you can also pick up cars. The world's blowing up around you. Right in the middle of a mission, all of a sudden jets can fly over and they're dropping bombs in the middle of the stage. Or the stage just starts transforming. Or helicopters come and start just shooting out the arena. It's just craziness. It's all out chaos going on during the mission sometimes. And the boss fights do not disappoint either. When you get into a boss battle, which is almost every chapter mission during the stage, and there's most of them, like I said, 3. So pretty much you're going through 3 boss battles. So I'm getting all like stuffed up and stuff. There's pretty much 3 boss battles per stage, so you're going to get a lot of practice with some boss fights in here. But yeah, that's pretty much how it goes as far as the gameplay. And as you're going throughout these missions, you're going to run into multiple characters. I think there's up to 16 characters you meet to this game. That sometimes allows you, when you go into a boss fight, whether you want to play as Jack or Leo, like during their scenario, or you could play as one of their buddies so you kind of pick up along the way and kind of switch it up. And if you want to, if you're getting bored with playing with them. So that's kind of the variety in the game. You know, as the more as like any beat 'em up, you only get so many combos, you only get so many moves, and you don't unlock any moves or anything with these characters. You just have what you have from the beginning, and that's it. There's no powering up, no leveling up. And that's kind of one of the downsides of it. But their way of balancing that is you could just play with another character throughout the story to kind of mix it up and give it that different feel. And yeah, so the story mode was really fun. It took me about 5 to 6 hours to complete the story mode for the way I went through it. But of course, if you want to get all the achievements and stuff in the other ending, I have to start again with the other scenario first and play through it. So that could add about 5, 6 more hours more worth of gameplay. And if you want to up the difficulty, I played it on normal, and it wasn't too much of a challenge on normal. I did lose some lives sometimes during some boss fights, but you get 3 attempts per boss fight and never failed a boss fight. So it's it's a little forgiving in that sense. But on hard, I've already started some on hard, and yeah, that's a challenge. So if you want a challenge, you can just start up right on hard, and that'll give you enough enough challenge for you. But where the real fun in this game is when you go online in the multiplayer. Yes, this has online or local multiplayer, and it is just fantastic. It is, like I said, Smash Brothers, Street Fighter, beat 'em up style. It is just all out chaos in these multiplayer battles mixed with Halo, and I'll explain that. Basically, how it goes is there's so many match types, like in a Halo game, a capture the flag, an oddball type. There's straight up deathmatch. There's King of the Hills. There's all sorts of game types, and it can be up to 16 players playing on one map, and you can all be going against each other. You can be on teams, like in a team deathmatch. It's just craziness, and I've played it a couple times online since I've had it. I wanted to unlock some more characters before I went back in there, and you unlock characters through the story mode. And just going in there was so much fun because you're just all beating each other up. I remember the last game I was in was a capture the flag, so I'm trying to capture the other person's flag, and there's just chaos everywhere. Special moves going off, people just beating the snot out of each other. Then all of a sudden the jets will fly overhead and start dropping bombs on us, or the earth will start transforming, or someone will pick up. There's these little boxes that are these random generator boxes you can get weapons and stuff out of. So someone could be sniping you with a gun from forever away. It's really really fun and chaotic, especially if you just like that Smash Brothers type of game because you can pick up telephone poles and cars and just start hitting each other with them, and it's just craziness. And how it's got this Street Fighter aspect is again with your combos. You're trying to juggle people, keep them in the air to get those combos going, so you can finish them off with a execution move. But sometimes when you and an enemy both hit each other at the same time, it'll go into like a brawl mode, and it just puts you and that one guy in this little arena like a cage match, and you're fighting kind of like it's got your health bars like Street Fighter style until one of you loses. Now I don't know from a perspective of the other players if they're seeing that brawl happen and they're just watching you two guys fight and then the online match continues once it's over, or if you two are just having that fight and then they're still fighting outside in the map somewhere around you. I don't know. If someone else has the game and can verify kind of viewing one of those type of matches, just let me know. But when that happened, it just went into this mode where me and this guy were both brawling it out, kind of Street Fighter style in this little dome. And whoever wins, it kind of gave us more bonus points for our team. And yeah, that's kind of how it went. But man, it is just so much craziness and so much fun. This is just the type of game you're just wanting to have fun with. It doesn't care about the story or anything. You're just trying to have a good time and have fun with it. Go online with some friends, beat the snot out of each other, team up, beat the snot out of somebody else. And with Platinum Games, they're putting this crazy spin on everything. Like the characters are they're as wacky as all get out. And some of the times, there's one character in it, Baron, who's wanting to drop the F bomb like every other sentence, and that kind of stuff does get irritating for me because it just seems so out of place sometimes. But with the wackiness of this game, it's not as bad as a game like Bulletstorm, but Platinum Games is known for doing this crazy stuff anyway. So but these characters are so creative and they're just so fun. A lot of them, their personalities and stuff. If you play the game, you'll see what I'm getting at. But they're very creative in their characters. They make up the enemies. They created a really, really cool world here. And that'll kind of lead into the graphics. They're nothing like super special for this generation. They're going to probably look at it and be like, there's a whole lot better looking games out there. But it does what the game needs it to be. It's not supposed to be this beautiful blockbuster, multi-million-dollar game. It's a fan. It does what it needs to as far as the graphics. I think they look fine. So yeah, the characters, especially the cutscenes, they got some pretty good action cutscenes that are awesome. But it's nothing like a Halo 4 or nothing like that as far as graphic wise. But it's still a good looking game in my sense, in my book, and it gets the job done. Soundtrack, I did not dig the soundtrack at all. A lot of rap and hip hop music going on while you're doing the boss battles and stuff. and it just didn't. It just wasn't the type of music I wanted to fight a boss to. It seemed like it kind of needed to be different. It seemed like they were trying to make it real urban, like with the fighting and stuff. But I didn't really get that sense. It kind of seems like a wasteland and stuff that you're fighting in, kind of like post-apocalyptic type stuff. Even though it's futuristic, it didn't really seem to kind of fit the vibe of the game. But I mean, that's what I did. I actually turned the music like volume down to like 2, so I could barely hear it. Now they do have some basic like background music that kind of plays during the regular stage and stuff that did sound good. But as far as like main soundtrack stuff, I had to kind of turn it down because I wasn't digging it. So as far as that, that's like the couple of the downsides for me. But if you can get past the graphs and stuff, then like I said, they're still beautiful in my book. So again, it's all about the gameplay and just having beat 'em up action fun. If that's the type of stuff you're into, like I know my buddy Chance, he just played Splatterhouse. I mean, if you're into stuff like that, then this game is right down your alley. Give it a try. It's only $29.99. If you can find it, definitely go out there because Platinum Games is bringing out all sorts of great stuff. I still have the Metal Gear Rising demo I gotta play, and I keep forgetting I need to put that in because Platinum Games is taking that one over too. So if you're into anything about Platinum Games like Vanquish, Bayonetta, this fits right up in the book. So be sure to check it out. And yeah, I guess that's about it. So if you like beat 'em up, high octane action, just craziness going on everywhere, multiplayer style, because I don't think we've ever seen anything like this with multiplayer. And I think that's kind of where this is kind of focusing on. And there are some stuff I forgot to mention throughout the game when you do certain things. You'll unlock abilities for your character to use online and give you a little power up. And I think that's where this game was going, wanting to make you just go online and just have fun with friends with it. So if you're into that stuff, like I said, it's even local. So get some friends over and beat each other up. But yeah, I loved it for the price. I mean, it is well worth it. So give it a shot. Check it out. Maggie Gamer. Like it out.